It's going to be yet another challenging day for crews across much of the country. The situation right now, emergency warnings are in place for areas in Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia. Today, dangerous weather conditions are forecast for a number of states. In New South Wales, authorities warn hot, dry and windy conditions could cause erratic bushfire behaviour. Total fire bans are in place for 10 regions. Temperatures are forecast to reach as high as 46 degrees in central New South Wales. In Victoria, the state of disaster has been extended into the weekend. Our reporters are on standby in key locations this morning. We begin this hour with Patrick Murrell at Victoria's State Control Centre. Pat, the northeast and Gippsland regions are facing another dangerous fire day. Residents and holidaymakers are being told to leave the area.
That's right, Danica. Those living or holidaying in East Gippsland or the northeast and the Alpine regions as well are being told to leave if they can and head to the nearest biggest regional centre. For the northeast and Alpine, that is the Albury-Wodonga city, and if you are in East Gippsland, that's Bairnsdale or Sale. We know that there are two emergency warnings in Victoria at the moment, one in Combienbar in East Gippsland, just northeast of Orbost, and in northeast as well there is another emergency warning burning near the northeast, right on the border of the Alpine region. There are also two evacuate now warnings for that northeast Alpine region. Now we know that there are 23 fires burning out of control across the state. A number of those burning in East Gippsland have merged. They've burned over 1 million hectares of land in that region. In total in Victoria, over 1.2 million hectares has been scorched. Now, in addition to the fires in East Gippsland merging, there's fears that those burning in the Alpine as well as the northeast could merge as well. And that's because today we're going to see some very dangerous conditions. It is going to be quite hot in those regions, heading to the mid to high 30s, and it is going to be quite windy as well. Those northwesterly winds are a danger of pushing those flames, that fire front south, with the area in that region now tinder dry and with quite a heavy fuel load. Omeo is bracing for flames to hit the town once again. They got close just this week. A number of people were evacuated via army helicopters, and the rest have fortified themselves in their homes, wetting what they can, clearing their yards and doing whatever they can to make themselves safe. Combienbar, north of Orbost, is currently isolated. It is one of those towns where it is no longer safe to leave. Evacuations have finished in Malakuta. The naval vessel HMAS Chulz has anchored offshore just in case it is needed again.
Patrick Murrell, thank you. Appreciate the update. Let's go live now to Gabriella Power, who's at Harrietville in Victoria's Alpine region. Gab, firefighters have a challenging day ahead of them there.
They certainly do, Danica. I'm here in Harrietville at the base of Victoria's Alpine region where firefighters are facing volatile conditions. This area is of most concern because not only are we going to see temperatures soar into the high 30s, but we're also going to see wind gusts of up to 90 kilometres an hour. We know in these conditions fires will be erratic and they will be fast moving. A wind change will come through later this afternoon, so fires moving in a southeasterly direction will then move into a northeasterly direction, stretching the fire front, and there are fears that the fire burning here in the Alpine regions will merge with the fires burning in East Gippsland. We know 3/4 of East Gippsland has already been scorched, but there still are areas of patches of unburnt country. So communities that have already been impacted could be re-impacted today. Getting here to Harrietville, we drove through Bright, which is normally a popular tourist destination for this time of year, but right now it's a ghost town. So many visitors have cancelled their holiday plans and so many residents and holidaymakers have been evacuated. There are a number of evacuation centres that have been set up nearby in Wangaratta.
Yeah, certainly having an impact on a number of towns. Gabriella Power, thank you. And there are two emergency warnings in place for South Australia's Kangaroo Island for the ravine fire near Pardana and on the south coast between Stunsail Boom and Seal Bay. The CFS is warning residents to act now. As the fire threat heightened, the Army has been brought in to evacuate those in danger. Stella Todorovic is live for us this morning at the New South Wales RFS headquarters. Stella, today is shaping up to be another critical day across the state's fire grounds.
It certainly is, Danica, and after a few days of reprieve, residents and fire crews alike are bracing for another hot and very windy day. It's a pattern we've seen quite a bit during this unprecedented bushfire season. A few days of a cool change and then it heats up and gets very windy all over again, flaring up those fires burning right across the state. Today, a severe to extreme fire danger rating is in place for parts of southeastern New South Wales, and very high fire danger is in place for most of the rest of the state, actually, including the Greater Sydney region. If we take a look at the fire spread prediction map that has been released by the Rural Fire Service, we can see that those problem areas once again are on the south coast and further inland. The map shows the hardest hit today could be the Snowy Valleys, those areas around the Duns Road fire near Tumut. Today, Danica, temperatures will soar from the high 30s into the low 40s, and we are going to see a wind change in the afternoon. A southwesterly will come through those inland fires, and that's a concern to crews on the ground there. And a concern on the south coast is the southerly change that will come in around midnight tonight in Nowra. Now, this is creating conditions that are very similar to what we saw last Saturday and those unprecedented conditions on New Year's Eve. The RFS is advising all residents and tourists in the areas that if you are in the path of the fire, to have your bushfire survival plan ready, and if your plan is to leave, then please prepare to do so as soon as possible. There are currently 130 fires burning right across the state, and crews have been working around the clock since the weekend to try to bring these under control. 10 total fire bans are in place, including the Greater Sydney region as well as the Illawarra and Shoalhaven. Danica.
Yes.